I figured since we're doing a review on an off-road truck, I'll try to show you guys some of the capability. This right here is why you buy a truck like this. And I'm not even sure if you guys can tell, but this truck does have the 35's on it, and nope, it doesn't affect articulation at all. I borrowed this truck from Jerry Seiner Chevrolet here in Salt Lake City. It is available for sale. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys can see all the options and features on this build. At the very top is a description with the colors. And then here is a short listing of the standard equipment. Be sure to pause to see more. Base price comes in at $49,600. And this one does have that Bison package for $11,700. You guys can see all the features in there. This also has a technology package which gives you 360 Bose and rear pedestrian alert. Sunroof was $1,000. Underbody cameras is $500. Cargo area lamps $375. Dealer installed option. And this does have the 3-year Sirius XM. Chevy Performance black exhaust tips. And then Turbo Max hood emblem. Destination comes in at $1,695 with a total price of $65,419. And here are the Philly commenters off to the side. When we talk about ground clearance, that's probably one of the most important things for an off-road truck, right? And one thing I like about the Colorado, whether you get the Trail Boss or the ZR2, the approach angle is increased. So climbing curbs is nothing for a truck like this. One thing I like about this angle is you can really see that multimatic and that triangular design for the body for that too. So this does not use deflective disc, it uses dynamic suspension spool valves, right? And there is an oil reservoir in there. They do have to update these upper and lower control arms too for this extra ride height. So this is going to have a 3-inch increase over standard. Yeah, you can see these red recovery hooks. These trucks do not have available front parking sensors, which is kind of a letdown at this price point. AEV badging right there. This also does have LED headlights, incandescent turn signals. This also has that signature flow-through tie front camera. And if you want to add a winch, you can with this front bumper, which is steel. And did you guys see your skid plates? Check that out. You can kind of see the active grille shutters too in there. But yeah, you have the steel skid plates. You can kind of see the camera right there. See? That's where the camera system is. You can kind of see even that 8-speed transmission exposed, but there is some protection there for sure. Here's a good look at that hood. You can see that extra cost emblem. $75 for that. It's a lot of money. Black mirror caps, black door handles, plastic fender flares, and you do have the protection down below here. And they do install that onto the side of the cab as well. By the way, there is a fabric material for the liner. And check out the tire out back. Gee whiz. These are going to be 315, 70, 17 tire size. So 17-inch wheel. So if you don't know in inches, that's going to be 34.4 inches. So not a true 35, and that's kind of why it fits so nicely. They probably did that on purpose. And B-lock capable wheels. Also, if you care to see the capacity for the tire, it's going to be 2,535, 35 PSI max cold, and these are LT tires too. You can see that fabric liner right there, black exhaust tip. They give you that nice little Bison decal, blackout for these tail lights. There's a mixture of LED and incandescent bulbs in there. Wow. You're not going to be able to see much back here. But yeah, check that out. Check out the suspension travel on this truck. Now they don't put this shock absorber in that triangle design, but you can still see it has the oil reservoir for that. This also has the jounce stop here. And look at the leaves. So when this side is up, look at how it gets compressed on that side. Hopefully you guys can see how they compress. So even having leaves out back, because Toyota gives you coils, you also have that protection for the diff cover there. It's gonna be a 342 with a locker front and rear. Yeah, this is really nice. They give you protection for your fuel tank there. Oh yeah, that's steel. That is a big skid plate. Transfer case has a upgraded skid plate too. But yeah, look at the suspension travel you have on this truck. So sick. That's why you buy a truck like this. You have your steel bumpers out back. On these, you cannot add the light pods, which is kind of a letdown, but you have parking sensors, assisted tailgate, and of course you have your spare tire there. Spray in, 400 watts of power. Now you guys did notice too, there was no spare tire. Did you guys notice that? I didn't point it out, but sometimes I don't point things out, but I figure it might just make sense for you to at least know that they do take it off of this truck. Alrighty, so I want to show you guys this. I'm sure you guys would want to see your off-road pages here because of the articulation. So you guys see the roll is at 10 degrees, pitch is at 2 degrees. And on this side, it shows it to you in this screen too. Go to off-road. Shows you the steering angle there, terrain, so it shows you the pitch roll, just like that. Let's go ahead and start reversing. Oh, actually, if I reverse, your 360 camera is gonna come up. Man, like, there's so much I want to do right now. Like, my brain is like all over the place. But if you ever wondered, how do you get a truck off of something like this? Now, you can obviously stick your head out the window, which is what people back then did. Or you can just use all these cameras. So let's go and start backing up. This is so cool. Now, I'm going to just show you over here so you guys can see the pitch and roll. I can always show you the guys the cameras in a second here, but yeah. You see how it's starting to change a little bit? And this isn't a high curb. You guys can see like that was pretty much the approach right there. Nothing at all. But I love these cameras, it's so nice. Alright, so it's really windy. So I'm not going to use a hood prop. It's going to have a 2.7 liter inline 4 turbocharged engine. It's going to be good for 310 horsepower, 430 pound-feet of torque. All that power goes to an 8-speed transmission. Overbuilt engine too. Fully forged bottom end, for example. And it's the same engine that they use for the, you know, half tons. Although I would like to see maybe the 5.3 liter come to life in this truck. That would be awesome. You know, maybe they do some tweaks to it. It can keep the same horsepower and torque numbers, but they need to do something different. But like, let's go ahead and check out the rear cameras. I want you guys to see the camera system out back. So that camera is a lot further up front, so you can't really see much from this point of view. So you see where the camera is right there? That's all the way zoomed in. I mean, look how far back I am from here. So let's see if you can see this angle. So this is basically the front view. So front under and then frontal camera view right there. This is front and rear. But if you want, you can do a frontal view because you can see the arrow pointing that way, or the rear, so it's pointing out back. Now if we drive off of here, let's see what happens. See how far back the wheel is compared to where the camera view is. So it is a little bit far back, but it's not that big of a deal. You can still see, which is really cool. If you want to, you can zoom in. I forgot that you can do that actually, but yeah. It's a little bit more grainier that way, but you can see the drive shaft turning. You see the tires really good. So that is nice. Okay, I will give it that. That view, let's go ahead and put it up front. For the frontal camera, you cannot zoom in, but out back, because of how far it is, they allow you to zoom in, so that's pretty nice. Let's go ahead and check out the interior, and then I'll show you guys the payload for this truck. This is what I call Greystone, because that's what they call it for the Silverados, but because GM has to be GM, the Colorado has Artemis, which is this like gray color. You guys see the lime green stitching. You have the silver and piano black accent on the door here. Here's some of the controls, seat memories. You only have auto up and down for the driver's side, and you have auto down for everything else. Toyota gives that to you standard, auto up and down for all. I don't know why that's such a big deal today. That should just be standard on every car today with the price points. Remember, this truck was 65 grand. 10-way seat, however, so that's nice. Perforated leather. You don't get perforated leather in the Ranger Raptor, I don't think. Just keep that in mind. Nor can you get 35's with that. Telescoping, tilt steering wheel, adaptive cruise control, heated steering wheel by the way too, trailer brake, which you're probably not going to need that with the payload. Oh yeah, you don't need a trailer brake for this little bit of payload. Let's check out the passenger side. On this side, no power seat, which I'm just saying, GM, at this price point they should just add that kind of stuff. I know on the GMC Canyon, I believe you can get that. And you cannot use this truck for a bed camper. More of that Greystone leather, all with the floor mats say AEV. And then out back, they do remove that nice trimming you saw on the front, bottle holder, and I like the fact that they give you the 60/40 bench, not available for the Ranger at all. You also have this guy. Ranger does give you a power sliding rear glass, which I like. This is manual. However, you cannot get air vents in the rear of a Ranger, which is silly. USBs, cup holders. Let's quickly talk about some of the technology. Here's your push button start. Your lockers, front and center. You can do just the rear or front and rear together. Auto stop start, caution lights, lane keep assist. They do give you an auxiliary, and then this puts all the windows down together. Here's your gear selector. You have multiple drive modes. However, you have to go through all these screens here to see them. So they give you off-road, tow haul, terrain, Baja, which is the one they add for this truck, and then normal, and then it goes back to off-road there. Also, heated ventilated seats, dual climate control, wireless chargers right there. You guys saw the 2 USBs probably. You have full drive auto, which is good for the winter time. Electronic parking brake right there. Cup holders. And then this vinyl, this is definitely vinyl here. 12-volt power plug inside of here too. Now, something that you probably will never notice is for 2025 they did give this a premium vanity. Just saying, I mean, if you go back and look at a 2024 video of mine, they were just incandescent bulbs like these. This is how you use that sunroof up here. Auto dimming mirror, Bose sound system was an option. This truck does not have the availability for heads-up display, which is kind of a letdown, but you can get that for the Canyon. Just saying, this truck is almost $70,000. Vehicle status, if you're going off-road, this is going to be helpful for you. If you go to engine, shows you your temperature for your coolant, transmission, oil pressure, and then oil temp. Trip information is inside of this screen. You can push things over to the driver display if you like. Of course, this has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can remove things out of this menu too. If you want to put your camera system in there, that's possible. But yeah, overall, this is really a nice truck. I think that for the money, it is expensive, but you have to think about the off-road prowess of this truck. If you were to build this truck yourself, how much would the Multimatic cost by itself? How much would the joust stops, the bigger tires, the V-lock wheels? This truck has LED headlights. It has the larger screens, which some people are kind of getting tired of, but yeah, so let's go and check out the payload. Gross axle weight rating out front is going to be 3,500 pounds. The rear is 3,400 pounds. Gross vehicle weight rating is going to be 6,350 pounds. 17 by 8.5 wide wheels. All in payload is 1,041 pounds. So it has like car payload basically. 36 psi for the tires. Although you saw on the sidewall it was 35 max. But yes, this is a nice truck. I think that for the money, it's something cool. I said this in another video on a GMC Canyon. People who buy like the Audi RS3s or Volkswagen GTIs, those types of car owners, whenever they want to get a truck, this is probably what they have in mind. It's still small, can still fit in the garage, and it is actually a good riding truck too. So hopefully in the future I'll compare this with the 33-inch tall tires, I believe they are, for fuel economy. If this truck doesn't sell, sometimes these trucks sell really quickly. So yeah, if I have a chance to do it, I will. Hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. See you guys soon. Since you stayed till the end, I figured I'd show you guys that jound stop right here. Here's the other side. That's for that extreme high-speed off-road for those guys who need just that extra stability. Later.